would like you guys please to welcome the two teams of people who are going to talk tonight about how to make a movie with no, or a little bit, but mostly no money. So first, welcome to the stage, Team UK, Melissa, Paul, and Phil. And now, for your viewing pleasure, Team Canada. Alright, so what's going to happen is that we're going to have a little bit of a discussion with these four people here. Movie-related questions, alright, and financing and stuff like that. Ladies first, let's have Team UK tell us where they're coming from, what is their background, and their projects, and basically why they're here.
I've been in film and TV most of my life. I trained as a stills photographer for 3 years. I went straight into sound recording, as one does, having trained as a professional stills photographer. And then I bumped around, changing jobs every 2 or 3 years. And I've always made my own films, right the way through. I took, half term, I would go off and make films and do all this because I felt I couldn't teach unless I was actually doing stuff, at the same time I was going through the same things that students were.
So background-wise, I started in musical theatre as an actress when I was about 14, and continued for the next few years in musical theatre, moving into straight theatre, and then did that for quite a long time. So I was probably hyper, for me, we're playing Death in The Seventh Seal. I've now played Death twice, so I'm going for the hat trick. If anyone out there is casting Death, I am available. So yeah, and I was the lead with the Royal Shakespeare Company, and that obviously was amazing. Every day is a new things to learn. I'll take you over to Team Canada.
I think the short thing is our background is Brett and I, after Brett dropped out of university and I came back from LA after my truncated, what's this whole Hollywood experience all about, was let's make feature films ourselves. Let's just do it. Let's put our money where our mouth is, without any background in that sort of thing.
Or money.
Or money. So we just jumped in. We started with features. We have no short films to show you, and that's why we can't show anything. Otherwise we would, and it would be awesome. But they're all features. We started out shooting with black and white film, and then we shot digital. And then we kind of got nowhere. We thought by then we'd be famous. We were not. And it just became a full business. Instead of just being like writer-directors, it was like branding, business, editing, the whole bit. We did a $50 feature that features Brett's orgasm face. And ReelHeART screened that about 10 years ago. And that sort of sent us off in another direction.
And I think it put ReelHeART on the map, really.
So we did that. We did a $50 feature, we did another $500 feature, then we did a $1,000 feature about 4 years ago, and we just finished a $275,000 feature, and we're going after a $1.4 million feature, hopefully shooting later this year.
Yeah, so it's kind of like learn everything you can, every aspect you can in filmmaking. I think that's what the idea of us going from no money to some money as really treat us well. We've honed our voices, we know every aspect of the business at this point, and I think that's what we'd love for everybody to take away from this.
I think there's a lot of value in short film. However, there is not an awful lot of money in short film. So I'm not sure if my advice would be go from a $1.4 million feature to a 10 grand short film. However, I think it's something that a lot of us, obviously in the audience, have made a lot of short films and seen a lot of great short films. And it would be quite good if we could have these in like before features in the cinema. So the only thing I would say is I think we should push for short films to have more of a voice. That would be quite nice. And hopefully next year when you are world famous, you'll be able to push for that.
There we go.
Yeah, I think like storytelling is storytelling. It can be short, it can be long form. Seeing now with everything going on in Netflix and Amazon and the television, the new golden age, it's it's finding where your story fits. I mean, there's always opportunity no matter what. There's a hunger for stories. It's finding the best way to tell that story. It doesn't need to be long, it doesn't need to be short. It's whatever your story fits.
I think that's very true, that you don't deliberately, and there's a lot of people that seem to sort of start with a short and then go, well, wouldn't it be good if I just padded it out and made it a lot longer? But a story is as long as it is. And with the film that we're showing tomorrow, it's a really short. It's a 4-minute short. It's an award-winning script by Phil. But it is as long as it is. And we thought that we had some people, oh, maybe you could make it like twice as long. And it's not a story you can do that with. It's not something that you can do that. And I think you have to tell the story as the story should be, and not make it for. If it's a 2-hour film and it has to be a 2-hour film, it should be a 2-hour film.
What you think you have and what you think you know is incorrect and sliding away and slipping away, and you've got to be prepared for every eventuality that does occur. And that's for a short film, that's for anything. So that's one of the biggest things we've learned, that it goes a long way no matter what budget size, if you know exactly what you want to get done once the camera's rolling, aka once you start burning cash hardcore.
Like you learn from your mistakes. Be careful about making expensive mistakes. So that was shot, originally the script was it was set on a bus, and I decided to shoot it on the London Underground because a bus, anybody done filmmaking, you'll realise, trying to take a bus run all day and actually have the people on the bus and all the problems with continuity was going to be a nightmare. So I did it on the London Underground, and I could have got permission. I'm not sure whether they would have liked the script.
Shoot first and ask questions later when it comes to permits or licenses or anything like that. As long as you're not putting your crew or your actors in peril when you're doing it, our attitude is don't get bogged down in that stuff, just go and shoot it. So, much like shooting on a subway, we've shot in parking lots, shopping malls, and what have you. And one time, I believe we had a SWAT team surround us.
We were doing a bank robbery for series. We had decommissioned guns, so the real deal, and all our actors were in masks, and we didn't tell anybody. And so we're shooting the scene, and there's like 20 minutes later, there's helicopters coming up above, and I remember going to the cinematographer, it's like, holy shit, we got helicopters? Shoot it, this is gold, this is huge. And so we got that footage, and then 10, 15 minutes later, 20 cop cars came rolling up on us, and guns out, and I had to talk them down, and Jason was out getting sandwiches for everybody, and he called me, he's like, what do people want, like ham and cheese, tuna? I'm like, I got like 40 cops in my face right now. He's like, sure, so all ham and cheese? But what I said, and what is a good learning for guerrilla filmmaking, is always say, just shooting a student film. I'm sorry, just shooting a student film. Like, what school? And I was like, Toronto Film School. And like, where's that? Downtown? But we got off, and we did feel bad about that. That was, having a sniper in a helicopter was difficult, but we did learn, if you're gonna have guns, to maybe ask permission first.
We're the world's oldest student filmmakers. Just plead stupidity whenever possible. God, didn't we try to arrest you like 15 years ago? I don't know. No wonder you're still in school, you idiots.
So one of the things about low-budget filmmaking is that a lot of people think about making the film, but they don't think about what's coming after. Can you guys speak about your experience about once you've shot and cut and post-produced, what happens?
What happens is you probably think what you've got on your hands is the greatest film in the history of the world, as does every filmmaker after they're done. And then you realize there's thousands of you out there. And you start getting bogged down in the numbers, but you just got to put it out there, put it in the film festivals. That's always been the route we've done. And much the same, our attitude has been, like, in terms of shooting background stuff or, famous iconography. We don't even care about that, especially at the festival level. It's not even at a commercial level. And even if we get released commercially, our attitude has been, if if a lawyer comes from some of this representation and says, hey man, we got a problem, you owe us money, it's like, yes, you think we're making money, that there's money from us, which means we're out there, we're big enough. So we haven't had that problem yet. But, so don't get worried, you know, we actually know filmmakers. We have a buddy who's into VFX, and he's dealt with independent filmmakers coming and being super concerned about stuff in the background, and I'm gonna get sued, and he's, you know, covered up, spent, you know, weeks and months doing this background VFX covering up for stuff that's like, dude, it's, you know, you just be happy if film gets seen at all, let alone worry about litigation. So again, don't worry about that. Just get out to film festivals, get it seen as much as possible, and value the experience. Like, go out. We always try and go to the film festivals and meet the people involved, meet other filmmakers, and just see the response from a different crowd, because you get different crowds. We screened in the UK, and people laugh at different parts and don't laugh at others, where you're like, that's gold! What's wrong with you people? So it's all an interesting experience in terms of the next time you go out and you know, tell a story and make a movie. There's always stuff you can learn. I think that's the most addictive part of filmmaking for us, is that as soon as we've done shooting, we're like, God, we've learned so much. I can't wait to shoot again, and put everything we just learned into something else. So that's our take.
Yeah, I think totally agree with everything you're saying. I should probably say a bit of background. We were invited to ReelHeART. We came here, and we were staying in this amazing sort of penthouse apartment overlooking the harbour. And I thought, oh, we could film something for my show reel. And Phil had the same idea on the plane, only he'd said we can film a short film. So he had, let's say, you know, the outline of an idea. We had me and the DP for John Lennon's Turd, who had never actually acted before, and Phil, and we just decided, okay, let's actually make a proper short film. And so we made a short film with almost nothing, no script, no time, around the ReelHeART Film Festival, using the ReelHeART Film Festival. And then that film subsequently went to festivals. We went with it. We looked at people's reactions. We learned so much from it. So every single time after the film, you take it to festivals. Every new film, you take it to a festival. You go to the festivals. You look at what different people are laughing at. Sit at the back and watch them. You get an actual bona fide opinion and not what your friends will say, and you get to be a bit more objective, and then you learn that, put it into the next one, and just don't be scared, and don't be scared of negative feedback. Like, I've just recently started getting reviews for short films. There's a lot of short film reviewers out there, and if you send off your shorts, they will review for you. And we had one film, like, amazing reviews, and then you'll get one review from someone who was like a vocal review, and the guy was clearly stoned. Like, that guy was saying, like, yeah, so I watched the film. I don't know if I get it. It's like, do you get anything? It's really crazy. But you can't be scared of that. Good, no, there's no such thing as bad feedback, right? So if something, maybe our film doesn't appeal to stoners. So that's good to know, you know. So afterwards, get the feedback and get as much as you can from all of the experiences, I would say.
Yeah, I think hopefully we got the couple trailers. First one, good to show The Morning is Broken, which kind of put our brand on the map after my O-Face film, where Ingrid Benninger, producer filmmaker in the city, got a $5,000 film grant, and instead of taking that, she decided to challenge 5 filmmaking teams to write, shoot, edit, and deliver a film for $1,000 in 3 months, and she'd offer all her support as well as 1 day in post. And that was kind of the first idea where we were kind of thinking about getting out of film. We're like, we've been doing this for a while, let's maybe focus on television, start writing for that. And we're like, let's kind of jump in and let's pitch what we got. And we had an idea, and her pitch thing was on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and her company's Punk Films, and we're like, that's not too punk. And we're like, But we got up, we stopped drinking on the Saturday night, and we made sandwiches to go there, and Ingrid immediately noticed that. She's like, you guys brought your own sandwiches? You guys are guerrilla filmmakers, you can do this. And we're the first to pitch, and out of 40 filmmaking teams, we got it, and it kind of changed our trajectory, and it started, and same idea. We lied about our lead actor. We said we had this amazing actor, Robert Nolan, who was a great horror actor at the time. We said, he's attached. He's super into the film. He had no idea this film was going on or that we were using him. So we did found out that we won, and we let him know that he's part of the film. We tied him up and brought him in. And we had just come off Confusions of an Unmarried Couple, which we had done an apartment, done a two-hander in one location, and we're like, we got $1,000, which is like $1 million to us. So we did 28 locations across the city. We had 35 speaking parts, including Sean Devlin, who's here in the house tonight. And yeah, and then it got distributed into 47 countries, seen at festivals around the world, and kind of really changed our lives. So from that $1,000 film, we sparked a lot of interest, and we went up and we heard Telefilm was interested in what we're doing. They were pretty impressed and wanted to know what we're doing next. So we just started writing a script like crazy, putting everything that we knew into it, which was hockey, fighting, delivering pizza, everything we knew into a film, and all the idea of making homage to a great other films that influenced us. And it was kind of a big project, and we ended up getting the yes. So we jumped from a $1,000 budget to a $275,000 budget. So we just keep on that process. That'll be very nice. So yeah, the movie is First Round Down, action comedy gangster heist flick, and it just came out on video on demand across Canada. So within a couple of years, we've grown a lot.
One of the things we learned from this experience and jumping up and working with kind of name actors is it's still all the same. It's kind of the same thing. If you know what you're doing and you know the story you want to tell, it really doesn't matter about budget or anything. You just get kind of nicer frills, and you got a person giving you sandwiches. But it's basically effectively the same thing. Instead of us making each other sandwiches or me going away while the SWAT team arrives, someone else does that. So that was kind of that was a good takeaway for Brett and I. Just it's at first you're like, oh, there's all these people working for us. All of a sudden we're not doing everything on set. But at the same time, it's like, we got this. We've done it. Nothing really changes. You got a camera, you got actors, you got a script, and let's get to it.
All right, so if I understand what was said tonight, making a movie doesn't really take a lot of money, but it takes a lot of passion. But then you got to think of what's happening after. So I would like to know from both teams, how can you sum up making a low-budget movie and thinking about what's after in terms of not only film festivals, but also how are you going to make money with it one day? How can you live off it so that you can make your next movie without being afraid of not paying your rent?
I think in terms of thinking about after, it's thinking about it from the get-go. And when we made First Round Down, we started like the social media and all the buzz as much as we could beforehand, and we were lucky enough to get a distributor on board from the script stage to put in money for North American rights. But all along, we were looking at afterwards. We were looking at how we're going to be seen, because no matter what, when you're making a low-budget film, you're making a film for the catering budget of a big budget film. So how are you going to stand out? And the only way, and the beautiful thing is right now with social media you can, and that really helped us out. We had great, for our theatrical release, we had great exposure in the media with CBCQ and Richard Krause on CTV and all that. Part of that was they went and researched the movie when they heard about it, and it was just blew up on Google. It was like pages and pages, because we had been pushing this film from when we got the green light, which was a couple of years ago. So there was all this stuff out there, and I don't know, like Richard Krause is like, wow, these guys have been everywhere, but it's kind of creating an illusion of how big you are. So I'd recommend it's kind of difficult to think in those terms, but to stretch yourself out. We got our first intern, so which was pretty nice. But yes, think about your movie, think about how is it going to get seen.
So you can sell to people and you can get some money. It's not going to fund your next feature film, probably, but it can. And you can think about that with short films, and exposure is what's going to get you the next film. So.
I would have said with a feature, think about distribution, what you're going to do with it before you start filming it. And think about really having the script drawn to ground, which we're shooting in. I spent nearly a year working on the script with a marketing distribution, a woman who'd worked for 25 years at the top level of the industry, making it more marketable, making it more genre. It's a thriller show. She's coming back to me now. It needs to be more thrilling. It needs to be more thrilling. So this is the quality of the script. This is aiming at an audience. Right? And when we were at Cannes, and because I've done about 6 or 7 screenplays now, and people say, no, that's not a thriller. That's just drama. I'm not interested in dramas. It's got to be genre, was what they wanted. So I would say start off right at the very beginning of the script and make sure the script is something you can sell.
Yeah, I just want to say, and believe in your project. When we were doing first round down and the budget wasn't there, we went after the actors first. We went after the actors with the idea that we had the money, and we didn't pursue them with maybe, or it's we have the money, we're making this movie, read this, and then it makes it a lot easier to get the financing when you have the talent.
I have 2 questions. One for you. Your ultra low budget, this last one, the one that we did the hockey was round down.
First round down.
First round down. Was that after? Was an after low budget because
Yeah, it was a tip.
A tip. That's what I thought because I was looking at that because I know a couple of those people. So
Yeah, so you get these, I don't know if you recognize some of the faces, there's a couple dudes from Orphan Black in there. We got the lead guy because he got killed off from Orphan Black, sorry, spoiler, which was very handy for us. But, there's John Kapelos from The Breakfast Club, and all these, there was Rachel Wilson from Breaker High with Ryan Gosling, so dreamy. But again, going back to just having a great script, that's what we were selling these actors, because it was not like, they're going from trailers and great pay to 50% scale. So, what do you have? Where you get a chance to be, have a chewy, juicy role in this film and show off your chops. Are you in? Don't be a dumbass. That's basically what we did.
Well, my other question was, so if you have a minimal budget, where do you find that your budget primarily goes to? What is the best place to spend your money?
Food.
I mean, other than camera.
Food.
Food, okay. Feed your actors pretty well.
That's true. It's all true. Feed your actors. Everyone else, get them paid and get them eaten on time. And that goes for a $2 film. Feed people who are coming out and working for free. Well, don't just give them the jailhouse treatment and be well, we're all working hard here. No, spend a little money on food.
Do you have another question? Yes.
When your film gets accepted to a film festival, do you have to pay for your expenses to go wherever, New York or Cannes, or do they pay you?
It depends on the festival. Some festivals will pay for your flights, will pay for everything. Other ones you have to pay for everything. It completely depends on the festival.
One thing, always ask, but one thing, usually that stuff's all tax deductible, so just remember that. If you do have something that doesn't cover your flight and it's a long way away, deduct that tax.
Yes. Thank you.
So, someone's first short film, would you recommend doing a tip or completely up to you?
I recommend just doing it. Certainly going through actor that's, and it's a bit of a rigmarole. we were shocked, you know, how much paperwork we had to go through just to shoot. It was a bit daunting. I mean, we had to prove we were Canadian a bunch of times too. It's like, don't you have our passport photo already? So, yeah, I recommend if you got an idea, just shoot it, get it done.
I was just going to say the film that you saw the trailer of, Liaison, which we made over here during the festival, the total budget was $15, which was a chain and a padlock.
Sort of related to union, non-union, more for Team UK. Was there ever a situation where you had to deal with work visas of either actors or crew coming to us?
So actually, in the current feature film, which we're doing next month, so we have our script supervisor and continuity is one of the, well, basically the top person working in Australia, and a bit like you guys. So I was actually just acting another film that she was on, and I pitched hard. I was like, I love you, and we had a bit of luck that she wanted to be in the UK because at the time her boyfriend was here. So. But what we had to do to keep her, because she was here on in the UK on what's known as like a tier 5 visa arrangement, so you get a few months' work, which is a lot of forms. But we have to now do that same thing to get her to come onto our film, even though she's now in the UK, but just to keep extending that and doing the visa form. So not from Canada, but you might not experience from Canada, but certainly there's a lot of forms, a lot of jumping through. It takes a long time. And but I think it's worth doing. Everything's very global now, so people have access to different markets, no matter who they are on the set or on the crew. So I definitely don't think it's a huge stumbling block to work in another country, but it probably does help to have a bit of a name.
I think just as the budgets get bigger, you do have to think about the actors involved to sell your picture and stuff, and that certainly, you know, with telefilm for us, we had to, because we're, you know, almost 50% government funded from the government of Canada. It's like you got to have Canadian actors. Your lead has to be Canadian. Do, and then we're like, okay, cool. And they're like, but they also have to be worldwide marketable. And we're like, and they also have to fit the demographic we need, right? Like a 30-year-old good-looking actor. So I think the 2 Ryans are taken. Who else do you suggest telefilm? And you know, it becomes a bit of a thing tracking down. So we were really happy when Dylan died on Orphan Black. We're like, because it's weird. We're like, where's this magic list you have in mind? So it's something to bear in mind as you go forward. You know, the actors you choose for your project.
So is that another situation where you just like shoot the fucking thing and deal with it later, or?
In what sense?
Say you've got whatever actor attached and he's free, like the lead you got was.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, were you already in agreement with actor for TCPIP or whatever? Or?
Yeah, oh yeah. So I mean, you know, at this point you're dealing with agents and stuff like that, and you know, you have to be honest with them, which is the best way to do it. Like, he's getting scale. You know, there's not going to be trailers. You're going to eat well, but it's not going to be what he's used to, and that's the best approach. Don't pretend you're something you're not. But yeah, that has to be all sort of done. Like we can attach them, but when it comes right down to it, all those contracts have to be signed before. You know, we had to do a big fat check to ACTRA beforehand, like a bond that of 50% of the total wages we were going to pay, which, you know, cash flow wise was pretty intense. You know, we were like 3 days before and the gap loan didn't come through and we needed 45 grand. So it was like all our credit cards are laid out, just, oh, I guess we're shooting this. And yeah, it worked out, but there was that little gut check moment where it's like, this is for real.
All right. Thank you very much to all our finalists, Jason and Brett Butler, Team Canada, Elisa and Molin Green.